How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another one bar build in Gedonia. Today we're going to be using the Dark Mage armor set, so let's dive right in and check out the armor. Taking a look at this armor, it's very Dark Magey, of course. Black hood, very evil Dark Mage. I really like this design, the shoulder pads and the actual armor, body armor itself. Just looks awesome. I wish it was a bit more tattered, sort of like Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. Just that tattered cloth hanging off. I do really like this armor set. It looks really cool. Now let's check out the unique stat bonuses for this armor. Once you have 2 armor pieces equipped, all of your undead summons create powerful dark spheres instead. Once you have all 5 armor pieces, elemental attack, focus element, and elemental beam use dark element by default and are more powerful. So you don't need to use the dark element. You don't have to choose that and waste 2 points. Be a dark mage from default if you equip all of this armor set. Now for the stats. As all clothies, not really good armor, but this one does have a massive boost to dark magic spells. Of course, it's the dark mage armor set. Pretty good crit strike chance as well. Decent boost to health and also an awesome amount to mana. All right, let's check out the accessories. So starting off with the cloak, we have the Dark Lord Cloak, which increases our dark magic spells by 160%. Also gives us a 200 boost to health and mana, and gives us a 0.15 movement speed. Then for the other accessory slots, I chose 2 items of the Volatile Skeleton set just to increase our dark magic bonus with the 2 item bonus to 200%. And then each of the trinket and amulet give us 150% damage to dark magic spells. And also I chose the Bone Serpent Ring. So both of them, the Bone Serpent Rings. So both of them, you get the bonus of 200% more magic damage. And also each of them rings give us 130% damage to dark magic spells. All right, let's check out the living weapon. The living weapon I chose is the Cursed Totem, Stage 3. The bonus this one gives is every 10 seconds, melee attacks with this staff can create healing, attack increasing, or frenzy buffs to your minions, and damage, disorientation, or stun debuffs for your enemies. And this is a 2-handed staff. Alright, knockback power. Like all staffs, it has a mana regen of 200%. 70 damage, speed low, which we don't really... It doesn't matter. Probably every 10 seconds we'll probably be using it. It has a massive boost to dark magic spells, 320%. It's huge. And also 110 to mana. Now, a lot of people don't like this staff. I do wish there was another staff that you could have, like with dark magic, that just I don't know, just shoots out a little bit more dark magic. But the debuffs do help, but it's just so random. I know some people don't like it, but you know, there might be some more in the future. So let's move on to the skills. All right, starting in blood magic. We've got our 15 points in here, and we've just got leeches level 2. So after an enemy dies, we have a 100% chance to spawn a blood-sucking leech, and that will attack enemies and restore our health by a limited time. Next up in Arcane, we have Magic Overload. So for 5 seconds, it applies a buff that will increase our magic power by 60%, and also all of our spells will require 80% more mana. And then we have the Mastery skill, Maximum Overload, and this just boosts our magic power to 200% at the cost of 400% mana. And each point of intellect also adds 30% magic power. The more intellect you have, the stronger you are. Then we have Blink level 3 that we actually made into Evasive Blink, and this will just replace the dodge, the basic dodge. But we can't use it too often because we will get Arcane Instability, which increases the mana cost of the next blink by 200%. But you shouldn't really spam it, or if you're in trouble, just you can get out of there quickly. Next up, we have Mana Bonus level 3, which is a passive, increases our mana by 100 points, and also Mana Replenishment level 2, which increases our passive mana regeneration by 300%. Next up in elemental magic, we have elemental attack, This will be our spam ability. So with the dark mage armor set, all of these spells in the elemental tree will just convert to dark magic and be more powerful. So this will just be our single target spam ability, which will just shoot a shadow bolt and do damage. Next up, we have elemental beam level 2, and this will just create a powerful beam for 4 seconds that will pierce through all of the enemies. And level 2 is just increased damage. So again, with a dark mage set, that'll be converted into dark magic. Then we have focus the element level 3. So with our dark mage set, this will create an explosion of dark energy that deals massive dark damage, and level 3 just increases the damage done. I didn't pick the mastery skill because we're not using up a element. You can spam this as much as you want, really, because it can't consume any of the elements, because we'll always have a passive one on. Next up in defense, we just have survivability level 2, which increases our health by 60 points, and also the mastery skill, which gives us an additional 30% health. Then in dark magic, we have drain health level 2, just drains the health of the enemy target. So this will be our sustain to keep our health up if we ever get hit. Then we have shadow wave level 3. So this will send a wave of shadow that curses enemies, damaging them and increasing damage they receive for 30 seconds. And it also heals skeletons, but we don't have any skeletons. So it'll be a 30-second cooldown. You want to sort of keep this up as much as you can to deal the most amount of damage. Next up, we have Raised Skeleton. With our Dark Mage set, instead of a skeleton, we'll summon a Dark Orb. And let me tell you, that they do a lot of damage. All right, next up, we have Dark Power level 5, which just increases the power of our dark spells and minions by 70%. Then in Banditry, we just have our 14 points into the skill tree, just gives us a 14% chance to evade damage. Then in talents, we have 5 points in health bonus, gives us 500 health. 5 points in mana bonus, gives us 375 mana. 5 points in magic bonus, that gives us an additional 125% more magic damage. 5 points in defense bonus, gives us 5% more armor and magic resist. And then of course speed bonus, which gives us another 15% attack speed, and our movement speed is increased by 1.25. All right, let's check out what we can do against the frost trolls. So here we are at the Frost Ogre encampment. What we're going to do is do our debuff, put our overload on, summon our orb, and just use our elemental beam. Much damage as we can there. 27k. We can do Shadow Wave. Did 111k damage. Really do some bulk damage with this. We are a little bit squishy, but you know, you get drain health. Get that back up pretty quick. And just summon the orb too. We're doing 10k each tick on that. Shadow wave that. And goodbye. Big explosion. I don't stand a chance. It is a good thing to just try and get that debuffs happening. It does do a fair bit of damage. Summon this. We're doing 11k a tick on that sphere. So it is pretty big. And then we can just obliterate them with that. And see, we are doing a lot of damage. Especially if we can do a tick. Summon that. Get our shadow wave on. And then just try and annihilate them. Oh, there's one survivor. You can see we are doing a lot of damage very quickly. So the Dark Mage is no joke. The Dark Mage is no joke. Can definitely dish out a ridiculous amount of damage. Like we were seeing 111k. That wasn't even crit. That was just normal damage. So Focus the Element will do a lot of damage. Probably one-shot most things. Elemental Attack is, of course, your spammable ability. But that Elemental Beam, that can rip through enemies, especially if you have Shadow Weave and cast a debuff on the enemy beforehand. And with that Dark Orb, that instead of summoning a skeleton, you just summon that sphere. If you can lock them down into a slowed state, that can just mop them up as well. Of course, this build would probably be better with a few tanks, so they can keep your enemies at bay and hold them in a group, and you can just mop them all up. But what do you guys think? That's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this build. This is surprisingly just very strong. Instead of just summoning skeletons and just sending them in, it is fun to do just a Dark Mage build and just use your shadow magic. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you next time for some more Gedonia builds. All right, guys, take care.